On the other hand, are wired networks really that secure? So they're secure in the sense that if you plug one end into one place, the other end into the other place, and your adversary has no real abilities, then they can't overhear you. However, I mean, those cables, if enough power is used, they're leaking a little bit of RF energy, and that can be exploited by an adversary. So security, it's kind of a toss-up either way. I'm going to put a question mark there. I would say wired have more security, but they're not fundamentally secure. And wireless has less security, but it's not fundamentally insecure. Interference. This is an interesting one. Who said that? Abdullah, what did you mean by that?
Well, if you have a lot of devices that are working on the same frequency, eventually you...
So that's correct. That actually ties in with bandwidth. So fundamentally, the rate at which you can transmit it, there's a huge number of devices. Yeah, that'll go down. I had actually something else in mind.
So they have these things in schools where they don't let you use Wi-Fi. There's transmitters that block all the Wi-Fi signals.
Okay, that's
So somebody
kind of
they just enter your building and stop your Wi-Fi.
It's jammable. So that's something. There's one more thing that I was that I was thinking of under the heading of interference. So what happens when you get on an airplane? You're not allowed to use them. Why are you not allowed to use wireless devices? It interferes. Okay, so I would argue on airplanes less of a big deal, but and it's basically a legacy kind of thing. But there have been documented instances where people have walked into hospitals, for example, and their cell phones have caused various equipment to go haywire.
There's a sort of a TV station in Dubai that their equipment every now and then stops working, but they never realized why. And it turned out that the cell phone, once they use their cell phone, the whole server system stops working.
Nice. Okay, so that's an example. Another example. Many years ago. Actually, if you hang around any military installation, they'll tell you to turn off your cell phones, and the reason is because under very rare circumstances, RF radiation can activate detonators and things like that. If you're working around very flammable things, very explosive things, that's a compelling reason not to use wireless LAN. Another thing, down in coal mine shafts, they're starting to think about using these technologies, but they want to ensure they're safe because they want to avoid explosion. So interference and safety. I'll link those together. Bandwidth. That's another key one. So in principle, and Abdullah hit on a very good reason why that's a problem by tying it to interference. So everyone in the world has to share the same bandwidth. So yes, it's true that if you are the only person using a particular ISM band, then you can get tremendously large data rates. However, there's a lot of people using that same bandwidth, so you're basically restricted in data rate. So, if you're looking for secure, safe, high bandwidth kind of applications, wireless LAN might not be the way to go. If you're looking for convenient and flexible, then wireless LAN is fine. And by high bandwidth, we're talking about like gigabits per second. 802.11 at this point goes reasonably reliably up to 20 megabits to 50 megabits.
So how about there's also cases you can use it if you're limited in power. If you don't have enough power to actually use wireless. It requires extra power for synchronization and wireless.
I think there's an awful lot of science about how to synchronize and estimate channels and how to do all kinds of things. So I'm not sure that that's necessary. Yes. Okay, so let's talk about Bluetooth.